Greetings chess friends, Robbie here, and I made one or two little videos with regard to square strategy theory and the importance of looking at base squares and control zones, and one with the Stonewall, but the sound quality was so bad that I'm going to have to redo those videos again. And the irony of the matter is that I have a fairly expensive Rode NT1A microphone and a professional mixing desk, and here I am using a little cheap desktop microphone from China and a £6 audio card, and I'm getting better results. So I guess that's just life. Anyhow, I thought we could again take a look at the Stonewall, and of course we learned that there were certain patterns to the Stonewall and certain ideas associated with this simple system. Here we have the Stonewall pawn formation. We learned that one of the main ideas is to get a knight up to e5. We learned that it's a good idea to chase or exchange off this knight because it weakens especially the light squares. We learned that prophylactically we need to prevent a knight coming into e4, and we have ideas of castling kingside and a rook lift up to h3, and our idea essentially is to attack these light squares on black's kingside if he castles kingside. Well, I have a rather brilliant little game from 1949. If I can just load that up, and we'll take a look at it. Starts with d4, of course, d5. e3 we learned, of course, is a kind of waiting move. We're waiting to see what black will do before we decide on our course of action. Knight to f6, bishop to d3, e6, and here white plays f4 immediately, and this is an inaccuracy. Why is it an inaccuracy? I'll let you think about it just for a moment. Well, simply put, it does nothing to prevent this knight coming to e4. A better move would have been knight b to d2, preventing this knight coming to e4. But anyhow, this was the move played in the game. Here black played the somewhat conservative and passive knight to d7. Again, this is a suboptimal move. To be much better playing c5 and putting his knight on active square c6. But again, this was a game move. White makes amends with knight to d2, preventing knight to e4, and black plays c5. And here we see the Stonewall formation. Pawn takes d4. Now, what is wrong with this move? I'll let you think about it just for a moment. After pawn takes d4 and pawn takes d4, there is absolutely no way that black can ever challenge white's solid centre. He has no pawn breaks that he can utilise, and the solidity of this centre is absolutely assured, and moreover it allows some scope for the queen's bishop. But that was a game move anyhow. So knight to e7, knight to f3, of course this knight is destined for e5. Planning to fianchetto the bishop and indirectly gain some more control of the e4 square. Knight e5, knight takes, pawn takes, and the knight that is usually such an excellent defender of the king side is forced to flee. White castles, and here black plays this tricky move e4. I wonder if you can work out what is the purpose of this move. His idea is, of course, to play bishop to a6 and swap off one of white's most active attacking pieces, this bishop here on d3. This bishop is an absolute star of the chessboard. It radiates in all directions. Such a powerful piece. And of course black would love to swap that off. So this is black's idea. Now look at the base squares along the 7th rank. And what are the weaknesses? We can see that f7 is particularly weak, is defended only by the king. So we might like to target these light squares. But there's an even more weaker square, and it is, of course, the g7 square. It has absolutely no defenders. And it's for this reason that white plays queen to g4. Black has no time to carry out, whoops, come on, that's better, his bishop maneuver. So how did he deal with this? Well, he creates some positional weaknesses by playing g6. Bishop retreats, and black plays bishop to g5. And here white plays a somewhat astonishing move. Now we know that in the Stonewall, and in this particular formation, we have a very solid d4 area. And an idea is to attack these light squares on the king side. And it's for this reason that white rather plays the rather excellent and surprising knight to c4, planning on bringing his knight up with check to d6, targeting the weakness of f7. And when we realise what our strategic aims are, although the move is somewhat difficult to find, when we see it, it seems kind of obvious after all. And I suppose that is the way with great moves. They're always obvious after they're played. Anyhow, black takes that knight, c4. White recaptures the bishop, and the queen comes to c7. Now again, let us examine the base squares. What is probably the weakest square? It is, of course, the f7 point, being guarded only by the king. Now you may find this next move equally as surprising. But again, when we consider our strategic aims, it somehow seems absolutely logical after we see it being played. Rook sacrifice, rook takes f7. King takes. And we bring our other rook into the game. King to g7. Now we know that according to our strategy we should be striving to infiltrate these squares, and it's for this reason that again white plays what might appear to be a very surprising move, but when we consider the strategy it's hardly surprising at all. In fact, it's absolutely logical. Bishop sacrifice, bishop to h6, deflecting the king away from infiltrating on the f7 square. King takes f7, sorry, king takes h6, rook to f7, threatening checkmate on h3. The queen is forced back to d8 to try and prevent this, but white has an even greater threat. I'm sorry, I'm getting rather excited here. It's such a beautiful game from a strategic and tactical perspective. I wonder if you can find the killer move. Remember our strategy. We defend our d4 area and we attack these light squares on the king side, black's king side. And the move that was played in the game was the excellent, another sacrifice, rook takes h7. King takes, and rather appropriately queen takes g6, checkmate. So this was again a rather brilliant game of chess, and the move seemed somewhat surprising, but when we consider the strategic aims of this little system here, and when we reflect upon them, they seem absolutely logical and perfectly playable, as many good moves do after we see them. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this little chess game. I sincerely hope that the audio quality is better, and once again I wish you well with your own chess. Take care, and regards to you, Robbie.